So we're moving on. We're going to talk about partnerships next. A partnership is two or more individuals running a business. There is no limit to this. There's not like a 2 to 5. It can be two. It's just simply two or more individuals. Now, partnerships only make up about 5% of all the business in the United States, and that is actually going down. And they only do about 5% of the dollar value of business, and that's about steady right now. So businesses, there's only 5% of the businesses are partnerships, and they're only doing about 5% of the dollar value. So there's not a whole lot of these out there. The key to partnerships is they're contractual. There's a verbal and a formal written agreement between the parties going into the partnership, and this is very important to have this nailed down so that you know exactly who's responsible, who is in as a partner, and who is out, and what their stake is, so on and so forth. You might get legal help to help you out with that stuff. So just to go over the different types of partnerships, there's general partnerships, there's limited partnerships, secret partnerships, silent partnerships, nominal partnerships, and joint ventures. And all these, the lingo will be very similar depending on, throughout the different state structures. But in general, these are the common ones, and you can kind of find out what the small differences between these are. But they all involve two or more people going into business together. So there's a couple important steps to remember when you're developing a partnership. First, how much time and money will each partner contribute to the business? So certain people will contribute more time, maybe more money, or maybe it's evenly split. Everybody has an equal share of time and money invested in the business. Next part is who will make the business decisions. This could vary quite a bit depending on the business structure and your partners that you have involved. Will one person make all the financial decisions, or will the financial decisions come from a common collaboration? Or what about employment decisions? What about marketing decisions? You just need to have that structure in place in the contract. How profits and losses will be shared will also be in there. So if the business experiences profits, are they shared equally, or are they divided up in a different manner? Same with the losses. How will the losses be handled? Who will take on the losses? Is it equal? Is it unequal? All that just needs to be in the contract. So if a partner decides he doesn't want to be a partner anymore, or if they're unable to continue the partnership due to illness, disability, or passing away or dying, there needs to be an exit strategy. Have that strategy in place in the contract. So whether the person simply doesn't want to be a partner anymore and there's a buyout clause, or if the partner is no longer able to be a partner for various reasons, have an exit strategy in place so that everything goes by, quote unquote, the book, and you can move that person in or out of certain situations. Have it in writing so it makes it very easy. Some partnerships will have a time limit. If there's a certain time limit, or if it's going to be terminated at some point, just make sure that it's very well stated and it's very clear in the contract, and everybody knows the situation and where things will go at a certain time. So the final aspect that you probably want to consider, and it's probably the most important for some people, is when will the partnership make distributions to its partners? Meaning, when will I get a return on my investment? Again, this needs to be very clear, stated in the contract, and stated what will be done with the profits and how the profits be handled. So if there's a 10% profit in the first year, is that 10% going to be reinvested? Is that 10% going to be distributed to the partners in cash? Or is something else going to happen? Just needs to be stated right up front so everybody knows exactly what is going on. Make sure it's in the contract. Okay, so you heard me talk about make sure it's in the contract, and this is where I really want to stress. I strongly encourage a complete written agreement. And I also strongly encourage you to get legal assistance. A partnership can be between two great friends or two enemies that just have a common goal. But what you want to do is make sure you have a good legal contract so that everybody knows exactly what is going to happen. Usually, the contents of the agreement include division of authority, how the assets and liabilities will be handled, and who has what duties within the partnership. But again, I strongly encourage a written agreement, and I strongly encourage you to go seek legal counsel so that everything is written up and done in a way that the contract is a legally binding document. So when you're doing a partnership, you're going to come across these different names, and This is where it's going to be important to get legal help when you have things that come up, limited versus a general versus a secretive partnership. What you want to make sure is within the state structure, you choose the exact right partnership for your business and for what you are looking for. And again, an attorney can help with this. The second aspect is choosing a name. Now I think this is the funnest part. You get to go out there and you get to choose a business name that reflects exactly what you want to do within your business structure. So whether it's choosing a doing business as A, B, or C, or if you come up with a complete and innovative and creative idea for your business name, go choose a name. And finally, something to reiterate that we talked about earlier with the sole proprietorship is make sure you have separate bank accounts and financial records for the business. This way, the partners know whether there are profits or losses with the business and complete financial health of the business itself. Again, keep separate bank accounts and financial records for the business. Never intermingle personal and business finances. So there are liabilities for a partnership. In general, all the partners are liable together, and each general partner is liable for the obligations of the partnership. Liability is limited, so partners do not have personal liability for the business of the partnership. So if the partnership if the business itself does something that creates a liability issue, the partners themselves are not personally liable. When you're talking about a partnership, you want to establish right up front what percentage of the business each partner will have. So when you talk about whether it's assets or profits, you want to get that right up front. For example, if you have two people and you want to split the business assets and the profits right down the middle, you say there's two people, each person gets 50% of the profits and owns 50% of the assets. In general, if there is no agreement in place, the assets and the profits will be split evenly amongst all the partners. So if there's two people and there's no agreement, each partner gets 50% of the profits or 50% of the assets. Again, get an attorney and have a legal structure for this. If you have an attorney, your agreement should specify who will control and manage the business and what percentage of the business each partner will have in relation to the profits and the assets. Again, get a contract. So in a partnership, the partnership is in place as long as the partners agree to that partnership and continue within that partnership. If a general partner dies, the general partnership dissolves. And according to the agreement, the assets and the profits of that business are dissolved appropriately. So these details should absolutely be covered in the agreement in the legal contract. Again, these details need to be in the legal contract. So the agreement should state whether a partner can sell and how they sell their partnership share. So if I am a partner in a business and I want out, I have an exit so that there's a certain way I can go about that exit, whether it's selling my stakes to the partners or if it's selling my portions to another person, whatever it may be, there's an exit strategy. Now, you talk about taxes of a partnership, you're getting into some a little bit more specifics here. The partnership itself is not responsible for paying taxes on the income generated by the business. So it's a little bit like a sole proprietorship. The partners themselves pay a self-employment tax on their partnership income. So the partners themselves are responsible for the taxes of the partnership. So we've talked about partnerships quite a bit. So here are the advantages and disadvantages. The advantage is they are very flexible in their form of business, meaning that you can do a lot of things with a partnership. Partnership permits ownership by more than one individual, so that liability and the profits are shared. It avoids double taxation. There's only one person responsible for the income and taxes on the income, and that's the partner. There's a few legal formalities for its maintenance, so that there's just a few forms, and there's not a lot of hoops to jump through as far as keeping your business quote-unquote legal. The leverage for raising capital. As you bring in more partners and you develop more expertise, you're more likely to be able to raise capital in various forms. So you have some money to conduct your business. So there are also a disadvantage. So partners have unlimited personal liability for business losses, meaning as the business loses, so does the partner. Partnership is legally responsible for the business acts of each partner. So, as a partner in the group, if another partner does something bad or creates a loss for our partnership, I am just as responsible as they are. So there's shared responsibility for the other person's actions. The general partnership interest may not be sold without consent from all partners. So this again goes back to the contract we talked about. You have to have it in the contract. If I want to exit the partnership in any way, form, or fashion, or at any time, there needs to be a way for me to exit the partnership written into the contract. I cannot simply sell my portion of the partnership without that contractual agreement. Or if that agreement is not in place, I cannot sell my portion of the partnership without consent from all the other partners. So, finally, a general partnership dissolves completely if there's ever a death of one of the general partners. So just like we did for the sole proprietorship, we're going to go over the tax forms for the partnerships as well. So the partnerships have a little bit different tax forms to look at, and some of them may be even the same. So we've got a partnership return of income, a partner share of income credit and deductions. There's a depreciation form, and then an individual income tax return, the 1040 form. Then you have supplemental income and loss, self-employment tax, and estimated tax for individuals. Again, the little form at the bottom will help you go right to the forms that you need. The important part that I'll remind you again is to make sure you get legal counsel for setting up your partnership, and make sure you choose the right type of partnership within your state structure so that your business is best represented by its structure or the partnership type of partnership you decide to go with.